now.
Clear the track. Here comes Lack. Let's head down to Phoenix now.
How about that?
Goaltending is like the most important position you have, right? And that's one that you can't afford to mess up with. If I were Vancouver, of course I would re-sign my best player. Markey has just shown so much growth and like really shown that he can play like a ton of games and play at a really high level, right?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Absolutely, it is. Clark was just asking if we're ready. I think we're ready.
Are we? I'm not sure. Are we ever?
How you doing, Moose?
I'm great.
We're as ready as we're going to be.
I'm good, yeah.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Got some nice messages coming in from the folks. Hello from Border, Manitoba. Hello from sunny Alliston, Ontario. Hello from Nova Scotia. We got news to get to right off the hop. It's Canada's daytime sports talk show, and we're coming to you from the bunker out here in Western Canada. And I got to say that I got my, as you see, my Regina Red Sox bunny hug on here today. It's the first that I'm wearing it. Thank you, brats. Woo! A little warm under here.
It's a
nice day out there, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big bird day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that
I didn't.
not.
That's good.
First day that I drove the Jeep up here to the show, and loving it. But it's gonna be a warm one. It's gonna be a warm one and fun today. You heard Eddie Lack there. My wife said, "Who's Eddie Lack again?" I said, "Eddie is the very affable, very lovable former goaltender of the Vancouver Canucks, New Jersey Devils, and Calgary Flames, who now sells luxury real estate in Phoenix, Arizona." So Eddie's going to be with us, and Bob Stauffer, the Edmonton Oilers radio guy, which is funny. I jumped in my car, and I was headed back up here last night for the recovery hour, and I was listening to Bob on the postgame show, the latest Oilers win. So we're looking forward to chatting with Bob. What's up with you, Moose?
Plans. We talked about sports trip plans.
Well, that's in my quick
is
six.
It?
Yeah,
okay, we'll get to that.
You know what? Usurping everything here, the breaking news, if you will, is why I was alerted this morning from a friend in Toronto that, hey, our heritage minister, Lisa MacLeod, has said, to paraphrase, I guess she had a media gathering this morning, the Ontario heritage minister, she says, basically, we're not even thinking about the CFL. Almost like, stop bothering us about the CFL. We're in the middle of a healthcare crisis here right now. And the quotes that I see are, she said, 5,000 fans a game for the 3 CFL teams in Ontario looks ambitious. I believe she said, I don't see it happening. And so I texted back my guy, and I said, but the Edmonton team president said yesterday that August 5th is a very realistic target date. That's why they selected August the 5th. He never wrote me back. The guy, my guy. Okay. So that's the breaking news, and we'll get into that. Now, the quick 6 show topics, please, Director Jordan. Thank you. Oh, Wednesday NHL leftovers. Why did I put my phone away? These were the leftovers that I have from last night's game in the National Hockey League. Lordy, who's got 40? Oh, the Vegas Golden Knights do. How about that? Boom, beat down on the San Jose Sharks 6-0 in the Shark Tank. How about that? They're going to be a tough out, the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Pretty proud they are. What are they, 7 or 8-0 against the Sharks this year? And they made sure to post it because, of course, you go back to that tough series, the penalties, and
they don't like each other.
San Jose winning, that series. They don't like each other, so Vegas swept them, and that's got to feel good for them.
My next one is you got to stop questioning Dave Tippett, okay? Dominic Cahoon scores in overtime for the Oil last night in Montreal. Did you see the news conference afterwards? And they said, why did you put out Cahoon instead of McDavid? And Tip he's going to bite right through that lip before he leaves Edmonton. It's going to be gone. And did you see his answer? Why not? Oiler fans, go down and drop off your resume on Daryl Cates' desk at Rogers Place if you want to coach this team ahead of the guy that is coaching the team. Otherwise, you're going to run this guy out of town. What did I say when they hired him? I said top 3 coaches in the National Hockey League. Dave Tippett. Yeah. I said Babs was number 1. Joel Quenneville and Dave Tippett. And nobody really argued. Let him coach the damn team. They won. I can see if they lost. Why wouldn't you have McDavid out there in overtime? He's your guy. But you won the damn game. Oiler fans, woo. They're a little psycho. Who's Roy Waters? I don't know if you saw last night that Marc-Andre Fleury got another shutout last night, moving him past, I think, Roy and Roy Waters into this next level of shutouts. I'm like, who the heck? I Googled him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was born in 1900.
Wow.
John Lynch would have seen him play, but you and I hadn't.
No chance.
Tonight is what it's all about. Tonight is LA Kings at the Colorado Avalanche for all the marbles. If the Avs win tonight, it's the President's Trophy, which, quite frankly, you can have. We'll take the Stanley Cup, but I think we being the Vegas Golden Knights,
Yes.
but I think Vegas would like to get the President's Trophy. Why the hell not? Here in, what year is it, 4? Why not? But that's going to be a big game to watch tonight. And then point 5 is our Stanley Cup playoff pool. This is unreal. I didn't have anything to do with this. You guys all put it together. So in a minute, can you tell the folks, it's gone nuts in less than 24 hours of being available.
We were literally having a conversation, and Nelson Vo's like, what do you think about doing a playoff pool? I'm like, it's great, but you got to put it in your calendar to talk to me about this like 2 months ago next year so we can have some time to play. I said, no, we'll just do it. So I'm like, okay, well, at least do something on like office pools, make it a box strip, whatever. So he went ahead, literally that day, put it together. We released it. And so we've got some great prizes available. It's free to enter. All our social media platforms have the link. I think Clark's put it in the chat here on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you may be watching. Go to our Twitter feed. The link's there for the playoff pool. And literally, you just have to pick one player in each box. You don't have to know anything. Pick one guy in each box, and you'll be entered to win some RP Show swag, some prizes, and it's free to enter, and it's going crazy. So it kind of was like a sitting around the coffee table. We should do a playoff draft. Do you think anybody will enter?
How about that? 150 plus, and teams are in already, and it hasn't even been 24 hours. So, again, it's linked on our Twitter and everywhere you can find it. Thanks for playing. Point 2, holy smokes, I got to speed up here. NFL schedule released. The full schedule is out, and I do have to say this. I never even when I worked in the Western Hockey League full-time for 17 years or in the CFL for 20, I don't get the excitement of the schedule release, because my thing was in the CFL, we got to play 18 games, we got to play 9 at home, 9 on the road against the East, twice, once there, once. It doesn't really matter where you throw them up. I don't get it. But in typical NFL fashion, they've made it an event because they are marketing experts. If, for instance, the Denver Broncos brought Peyton Manning out to be part of their schedule launch. Yeah. Like, they always make it a big thing. And so I see, because we know the Cowboys are at Tampa. We might go to that. Chuck, can I tell people that?
Sure.
Just the two of us, and maybe some contest winners, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking there. But the sports trip, we're going to have to spend more time on this later on in the show. But maybe a VIP trip to win, to come down to watch the Bucs and the Cowboys. And by the way, people are already asking, who are you going to cheer for, Rod? You're a Brady guy. You're a Cowboys guy. I was thinking about that this morning. Tom's won enough, okay? It's the Dallas Cowboys' time. So they will be winning in week 1. Oh, and by the way, the Buccaneers are favored by 6.5.
Of course.
That's already out. We haven't even looked at, we don't even know who's on the roster. Not a clue. Favored by 6.5 in week 1 in September. Meanwhile, so the NFL schedule is out, and I read this interview with the Edmonton team president yesterday saying, well, we hope to have the schedule out in a couple of weeks. You know, it's not easy with the needs and the wants of every team. And I'm like, because the NFL's is so easy.
3 times the teams. And
It's the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Georgie has texted me, and he says, starting Monday, come on down to catch all the NHL playoffs. Of course, believe. Four Seasons Sports Palace. 909 Arcola Avenue East. Point 3, I won't spend as much time because we've already discussed the CFL thing. But as I was watching SportsCenter this morning, as Tour de Rod hit stage 187 today, pedaling away, I'm watching SportsCenter, and there's this long expose on the NFL schedule. And it's like Brady, Belichick will meet in week 4. Newton goes into Carolina in week 9 or something with the Patriots. And I'm like, yeah, CFL training camps were supposed to open this weekend. It would be nice to have some coverage on the CFL, but they're not playing. They're suspended. And it just dawned on me like a light bulb went off. They don't want to pay the money. It's going to cost too much. It's going to cost them more money in the long run to not play right now. because we're just getting bombarded with NFL, NHL, MLB, and the CFL is just so getting pushed to the back burner. It's just getting out of the conscience of the average Canadian. And that's because what we see on SportsCenter. It's not TSN's fault. What are they going to talk about in the CFL? So that was an ESPN story they carried, for the love of God. They didn't even put it together themselves. So that's my thinking, is it's going to cost them more money in the long run. But a lot of these business guys and presidents guys only look short term, short term, short term. That's how I think they're thinking. And I know you have some thoughts on that.
It costs more money, and if you want to go away and not play, then that's a risk that you're taking, a massive risk, right? We know it costs more money, right? But I don't think, what people don't realize is if you're going to go away, your customers are gone. They're not just sitting there waiting to give you their money. They're booking trips to the NFL. Yeah. They're spending money on the NHL.
Buying RVs. A new customer costs 5 times as much money as retaining a customer you already have in terms of marketing dollars and getting them into the building. And when you have existing customers, you have a 60 to 70% chance of retaining that customer. But when you don't, you have about a 5 to 10% chance of closing a new customer. So the CFL's got a really steep road ahead of them. It's not going to be cheap, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they've done this analysis, and the extra cost that it's going to cost them to get these new customers back into the buildings, maybe that's cheaper than the money they would have lost playing. But I don't know that they've done that. They're saying it's going to cost more marketing dollars down the road than we would have had to pay to play this year. So let's just bite the bullet. That's what you're saying. So I said to him in his office before we got rolling here, I said, I don't want to surprise you with this. I'm going to bring this up in the quick six. And you're like, to get those exact numbers.
Well,
right?
I knew the numbers were there, but I just didn't know how high they were.
Yeah. So this is the yin and the yang of how we work together here, right? Exactly. I'm just skimming around here, zing, 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 and you're taking care of the details. Works great.
It does.
Point 4, the Blue Jays go for the sweep at the Braves. By the way, first pitch is in 8 minutes, but you're going to stay here, right?
Oh yeah.
Point 5, Duron Carter, hired by North Palm Beach Prep School to be their director of player personnel and receivers coach. I wrote about this and mentioned it on my commentary today on Cat Country and Rock 98 FM, Rock 98.5 FM. You think Duron is this wild child with a spotty past in football, and he is all of those things. But he's also highly, highly intelligent. He's a tremendous coach. And I told the story of me and Duron walking onto the field in Moosomin, Saskatchewan, home of Dave Tippett, by the way. And this story was this. Duron and I were in Moosomin for another event, and the coach of the team, Dexter Mondor, DM'd me on Twitter. He goes, my team's practicing this afternoon. Would you mind coming? And I said, yeah, but I got Duron Carter with me. Who the hell am I? Can Duron come? And he's like, you think he would? Yeah. So we went to the field, and Duron walked right onto the field. I have photos of it because nobody would believe it. And he coached every single kid at all 24 positions on the field. Then he gathered we spent the whole afternoon with him. And they gathered the whole team together, gave them this inspirational rah-rah talk. And as we were leaving, I said, how did you know how to coach like that? And he goes, I've been coaching kids my whole life at my dad, Chris's camp all over Florida. And he goes, I could coach the kicker, I can coach the quarterback, I can play every position. And then it was like less than a year later, he's picking off Bo Levi Mitchell in Friday Night Football in October of 2017 at McMahon Stadium. So that he would go coach at North Palm Beach Prep School doesn't surprise me one bit. And for those of us that do have a past, and that's why, frankly, I think Duron and I are kindred souls. He's got a lot to pass on to the kids. And when you can say, don't do what I did, kids, it's incredibly effective. It's incredibly effective as a teacher, as a coach. So I say bravo, Duron. When you saw the news, were you surprised?
A little bit. The only thing I was surprised about, because I don't know him like you do, was what was in there? Director of player personnel? Mm-hmm. That kind of office, 9 to 5, administrative, keeping everything organized type of job. Because Duron seems like the free spirit, little bit of like, I'm going to bounce around, can't sit in one place too long, right? So taking care of the details on those things I could see being a thing. But the coaching, I get it. Can play every position on the field. And then he went out and did play every position on the CFL field.
Successfully. And was player of the week on defense.
Unbelievable.
So
yeah, he'll coach, and he has a ton of value to add, for sure. He's picked up a thing or two along the way, not only from his own athletic abilities and career, but from his dad, too.
And that's why Duron and I have sat and spoke together for hours. Hours. And I'm just like, Duron, I know nobody gets you. I get you. And I think he's tweeted that, right? He's like, somebody finally gets me.
Yeah.
So good for him. He's going to be great. Jeff Stamps, he says, a mere 40 months ago, Chris Jones and Duron Carter were going to take the CFL by storm. Here we are. I immediately get defensive about that. And I don't know that he means to get defensive about that. I don't know. Chris Jones is coaching at South Pittsburgh High School. They're on the field. Duron's got a job at North Palm Beach, Florida. And you and the CFL are doing what? Oh, and Chris Bird writes in from Toronto. He says, I spoke to someone today who personally knows and spoke to Randy Ambrosie. The commissioner says the CFL will get some kind of season in this year. Talk to us when you do. And point 6 was potential Jack Eichel destinations. They're saying LA Kings, New York Rangers, Detroit Red Wings, Vegas Golden Knights, and Columbus Blue Jackets are the 5 possible destinations for Jack Eichel. We may talk with Bob Stauffer about that when we come back, but I kind of doubt it. It'll be a lot of Oilers Jets. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, and you're watching the RP Show on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces and 31 states, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full-Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.